So, welcome back to PodX. Our guest for today is Kiran Shastri. He is one of the most amazing basketball players that I've ever met. He holds the record of scoring the highest three pointers in his college till date. And he has also won the most valuable player twice at the 3x3 league. And we also have my friend Sahil Desai joining us. He has played basketball at the national level and he's represented Goa. So this one's going to be super exciting and fun. Let's see how it goes, man, this conversation. So, how do you feel, Kiran and Sahil, being here?
Oh man, I'm really excited to be here. I've seen some of your podcasts before, so I appreciate you having me on, and I can't wait to just get to it today.
Yeah, I'm
Sahil, what
super
about you?
excited too.
So, Kiran, I want to start off by you. When we had this conversation earlier, you told us that your support from your parents was the biggest thing that built you and helping you where you are today. So, could you tell us a bit about that, how it has helped you?
Yeah, I mean, just I feel like like for me personally, I had great support from my parents. I feel like it's not natural for like Indian parents to push their kids in athletics. And I was lucky enough to have parents who saw value in playing sports and competing at an early age and putting yourself out there, failing early and things of that nature. So, I grew a lot through playing sports. It shaped into who I am today. And I kind of owe that to my parents for putting myself out there and going against, I guess, the stigma or like what naturally everyone would do would just have them stay home and study. So I'm very grateful of being put in that situation. And again, like I said, it's helped mold me into who I am today.
But who was your biggest, who has had a huge influence on you while you were growing up and starting basketball out and playing?
Yeah, I mean, again, it was my parents. They put me in, you know, basketball when I was 5 years old. But I've also had, really good coaches who supported, my basketball journey when I was young. I think that's a big thing to have good mentors and coaches when you're growing up, because sometimes you may not always listen to what your parents say, but if you have a good mentor, then and they reinforce the things that your parents says, then I think that's a very impactful thing. So I was lucky enough to have good support from my parents and good like mentors that pushed me to be the best I could in sports and in life in general.
I think that's really important, having mentors and someone guiding us when someone's already experienced something and guiding us in that field is really amazing, which can help us. Sal, same
Yeah,
question to
and
you.
So obviously, my parents and all the coaches that have, helped me develop my game. I mean, like they've always been there for me, no matter what. So that's a really great thing. And then it helps you grow your game to a completely different level to what it was back then.
Kiran, how did your coaches help you build that character of discipline, character within you, and not getting influenced
yeah,
by the wrong stuff?
um, it's. I mean, that's kind of the coach's job, is to instill those values in you. But then it comes upon yourself to whether you want to accept that information, or you really got to love the game. You really got to love whatever field you're in, and whatever your mentor, your coach is telling you. You got to, if you don't love it, then you're going to be distracted by the other things that are going on. And so that you got to take it upon yourself to understand, if this is what I really want to do, I have to focus. I have to, stay the course, and understand that it is a long game. It's not going to happen overnight, type of thing, and you just got to stay working at it. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but that's part of the journey, they say, right?
Also, I wanted to know about this thing that you scored the highest, three pointers at your college level. So, what is that experience like? How did you do that? Because there were many more players, obviously, who have played better than you, who are older than you at that time. They were senior to you. So, how did you, turn out to be better than
Yeah,
them?
Well, I mean, you know, um, I've been working at like my craft for a long time, and like I put in a lot of hours, and um, I'm very confident in what I do. So wherever I go, I feel like I'm gonna be like the best at whatever level I'm playing at, right? So you just kind of have got to have that confidence. And I mean, I don't think anybody expected me to beat that record when I went to the school, but I mean, progressively, you just got to earn your spot on the team and then continue working hard. And I had trust in my teammates and coaches to shoot the ball. So, I mean, it was a lot of factors. It wasn't just me, I had a lot of support there from my coaches and teammates, and they trusted me to shoot the ball. So that's half the battle, too.
But do you think that played an important role in, when people didn't really, when you start something new, people don't have expectations much from you. So do you think that played a role in helping who you are? Like in comparison, if people had put out a bit more expectations from you, would that have made it worse or something?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I think going into a situation and having no expectations, it's easy to shine because the only way to go is up, right? But sometimes, if you have the high expectations, you have high expectations for a reason, right? So it's your job to come in there and deliver and do your job. So it's a mentality thing, man. You got to be ready to go. You got to uh, appreciate the moment and do your job. I mean, you're there for a reason, right? So you got to do your job. And um, but I mean, in both situations is an opportunity to do your best. So whichever one I'm in, I'm gonna try and be in that right mental space to take advantage of it.
Sahil, you've experienced something, anything similar?
No, I'm still 16, and I mean, like, it's not been so many years since I've started playing. But yeah, I mean, you have a few people, telling you that you're not good at something, but then, it really gets to you when you take it and then use that to work on your craft. It's always,
Absolutely.
you have that fire within you to prove somebody wrong and then show them that, you are good for this, you are good at it, and you're meant for this.
Yeah. And I think like also nothing is given in this world, right? You have to like earn everything. So no one's gonna like give you respect right off the bat. You kind of have to like show that you deserve the respect and play well.
Yeah, exactly.
So Kiran, you got into the 3x3 league just directly, like 2 months out of college, and you went to play in the 3x3 league, and you hold the title of the most valuable player for 2 continuous years. So, what was that experience like for you?
Well, so I knew I wanted to play like professional basketball, you know, and so right after I graduated college, Inderbeer gave me a call actually and said, "Why don't you come to Japan and play on this 3x3 team? It's all Indians. We're playing really. I mean, they were playing really well, and I was honored for them to call me and ask me to join them. So, I didn't know much about 3x3. It's a different game than 5-on-5, but again, it was an opportunity to
A
play
completely different
professionally.
format.
Yeah, exactly. But it's an opportunity to play professionally and get to travel the world, man. I would probably never have gone to Japan anyways, but I got to be there like 5 months. Um, and just, being there, I grew so much as a person and being able to play at a high level. And it was a great opportunity to go there to Japan. But playing in India was a lot of fun too, man. That's has like stuck with me the most, I think.
So, I had to ask you this, whenever so when you play a game or something, and you have this, like, there's a huge rush of adrenaline while you're playing that game. There's the audience cheering, there's everyone just running around, jumping around. There's so much of energy out there, there's so much of adrenaline which is running out. And so, how do you get back to normality after the game ends? Like for me, it sounds one of the toughest things to do. Like it is hard for normal people like us to empathize with you because you have it all. So I wanted to know, how do you really keep yourself stable post matches when you are trying to return to normality?
That's a very interesting question. I don't think I've ever been asked that. Um, it's and honestly, I've never really thought about it. It's just kind of what comes naturally. It was just, that high that you're on when you're playing the game. It 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 does go away, like obviously after the game, but um, you kind of appreciate that because it's you kind of learn out how to manage being very high and being in the moment, being kind of like the star, to coming back down and going back to being a normal person, right? So it's it's kind of like a life metaphor about how to deal with the highs and maintaining the the lows. But I would never say that it was a low like after the game. It was it's just like a mental thing, man. You just got to be strong enough to understand, like, it's another game is coming.
So how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel after, like, while you're playing a game, there's this huge rush of adrenaline and all that stuff, and after the game ends, you're back to, how do you return to normality? How does it feel?
Yeah, so I mean, like after a game, if it's a win, then yeah, I'm back to normality like within a few seconds. But like when it's a loss, like it really hits you hard sometimes. But during the game, I mean, sometimes it's like a completely different situation. For example, I played my first men's tournament like when I was 13, and I barely had any idea about what I was going to do and how I was going to perform. So yeah, that was a really different experience for me that time. And then not only just before the game or during the game, even after the game, I was like scared about what my coach would say to me and like the way I performed.
But
No,
how's
but
the
that's
game
true
then?
too. Like, no, I was gonna say, like that's true too. Like, handling a loss is it tells a lot about a person. How you respond to adversity. You know, and being honest with yourself. Like, if you didn't play well, like, you got to tell yourself, okay, I didn't do this well, but this is what I'll do better next time. And I think that's like a good thing to have. That's a good thing to do with like everything that you do in life, not even just after a loss, but after a win or after something good, like evaluating and adjusting and seeing how you can be better, moving forward.
But how do you handle loss, Kevin? If you lose a game, what happens next?
Um, like, I know losses are gonna happen, man. So I try not to be too hard on myself, because I know, you're not going to win every single thing in life, right? Or every single game. Losses are going to happen. And I think you learn more through losing or through adversity than you do through winning. If you win every time, you're not going to learn anything because you know, you're going to stay the same. But if you lose, then you're able to learn from your mistakes, what you did wrong, and you're able to get better that way. So, um, I wouldn't say I like losing. I don't at all, but I learn a lot from losing. So that's just kind of like a mindset that you have to have. You got to take the good out of the losses and move forward with it.
So I had this question which just came up in my mind, which was, what do you do? How do you like? So you practice every day in the morning. I know that for sure. But so, is it ever happened that at night you won a game and the next day you let that hit your head and you said, no, okay, I'll skip practice for today, or no, never?
Oh yeah, most definitely. That has happened before. Um, no, but I think that's okay. I think it's okay to like listen to your body and um, you don't always have to go like 100%, right? You gotta, it's okay to take a step back, like reevaluate. There's a lot of other ways to work on your game than just physically going out there, right? There's a lot of mental things you can do. Like, there's a lot of visualization work that you can do, which I think is very. I try and do that as well. So like, it's not always going like you don't have to go out there and do like 1,000 shots a day, 1,000 push-ups. There's a lot of other ways to work on your game. They say work smarter, not harder, right? So that's what I try and do. Sometimes you have a good or bad game. The next morning you just want to relax and, you know, stretch out or something, you know, you or like work on different aspects, you know. But you got to understand, listen to your body, like set a plan and kind of follow that, you know.
So, I think I was listening to this podcast of Kobe Bryant, and what happened in that was the person
Mm,
asked him a question, which was, how do you prepare yourself before a game? And Kobe replied that he listens to Jay-Z before every game so that he gets into that shape and that character.
yeah,
So I wanted to know, what do you do? What do
yeah.
the two of y'all do, Sahil and Kiran?
Um, well, honestly, I don't like to listen to really a lot of music right before the game. I like to just like be with my own thoughts and like I just talk to myself, you know. Like I would like just I try and go through like the game plan. I go through like my checklist of what I want to do, things I want to accomplish during the game, and things of that nature. I don't like listening to music too much because I think that gets me like too pumped up, and then I lose focus of like this of what the goal is for the game. You know, I try and chill out, mellow out, be relaxed going into the game rather than be all like hyped up. You know, but everybody's different. You know, everyone has their different go-to things for the game. So I'm sure Sile's like a lot different than me, but I'm curious to hear.
Yeah. Um, for me, well, yeah, I like listening to music. So before every game, I'm just listening to something, thinking about what I'm going to do during the game. And yeah, it's just that music helps me think better. And I'll sit with my friends, and then we just discuss a few plays that we could run. And sometimes they keep talking and then watching the other games. And then I'm just in my own world, like, plug my ears, and then I'm just into the game completely.
Yeah,
So,
that's good, man.
Kiran, what are a few instances that shaped your mindset into who you are? It doesn't just have to be basketball. It can just be even in life, something that shaped you into who you are today. A few experiences or instances.
Um, I think you know, in I think when I was in Japan, my in 2017, my first year, like I think my mentality shifted a lot. You know, it was the first time that I was ever like, I mean, in college I was living on my own, but you know, when I was in Japan, I was like living in my own little like apartment, and I was like halfway across the country, halfway across the world from where my family and friends were, and it was like it was a tough adjustment to make, but I think that's where I grew like really strong mentally, and I realized, okay, this is what I asked for, this is what I want to do, so I got to find a way to make it work and be successful at it. So obviously there were days I was like really sad and like I wanted to go home, but um, you know, I realized I have a unique opportunity to do what a lot of people wish they could do and play professional basketball, travel the world. So I'm gonna make the most of this opportunity and be the best that I can be. So being in Japan in the early stage, like, and that was just like 3 years ago, my mentality shifted. So, you know, it could be at any time and it could be as something little as whatever or something as big as I felt like my experience was. But that was something that really shifted my mental where I was like, okay, it's time to be a pro. It's time to be a man, you know, got to make things happen here.
Did you ever feel like quitting in between your basketball game? Because for me, a lot of times this has happened. I'm doing a podcast and suddenly I'm like, I just want to stop doing this and all that stuff. Because when I've heard a lot of no's, for people for getting people as my guests, and a lot of times that hits my head really hard, and I'm like, okay, I just don't want to do this anymore. I want to stop. But then I don't know. Next day when I wake up, I just feel like, no, okay, I should put in the effort. So how has that happened with you? Is my question. It's like,
Um, you know, I would say that I've never wanted to quit. You know, there are times where, you know, I get very frustrated or, um, you know, and that's just very temporary, but it's never been like when you put in so many hours into something and you put in so much time, you know, I'm not going to let it get taken away just because I want to quit. I'm maybe for that day I may just stop. I may put it aside, but I mean, I'm gonna keep on. Like I said, when you put in so much time and effort into something, you're not gonna just quit because somebody is saying something about you, or you're not getting the support you feel like you deserve, because you know yourself that you deserve it. You've been putting the time in, and one day it'll click for you, man. One day it'll just happen like this, and something good will happen, and then you'll realize all your hard work was for something. You know.
So how do you maintain that level of your game and not let it fall down? Because there are so many experiences, there's so many stories of athletes out there who've achieved a certain level of success, then they've seen that drop down completely. While for you it's been a certain level, then you take it up higher every day, but not let it fall down. So how do you maintain that spot and level of your game?
Yeah, it's I'm not, I'm always trying to get better. I'm not really satisfied with, you know, at the position I am now. I want to be better. I want to be, I want to be the best at what I do. So that kind of mental space like drives me, you know. Um, just little things just drive me every day, to be better than what I was yesterday. So it's a mental thing, man. It's all mental.
I think the inner drive and hunger is really very important to, take us to the next level.
Yeah. I think a lot of people like they get satisfied like, okay, oh, I made it here, I'm good, or this, and that's completely okay. That's on you. But I know where I want to be, and I know in order to get there, I have to keep on working. I can't be complacent. So whether it takes me 10 years to get there, then so be it. If I get there next year, I get, but I'm just want to continue working hard and pushing because I'm not satisfied with where I am now.
This is a bit off topic, but I just had to say this. I really love the background music which I'm getting from your sound, those birds chirping and all that stuff. So it's really
Oh, yeah. Is it loud? I know I'm outside because there's no
it's a
space
beautiful
inside my
sound.
house.
It's beautiful
Oh,
sound.
thank man. I appreciate
Do
that.
you just come back from workout?
No, no, no.
You just come
This is
back
just
from
what
a
I
workout.
normally. No, no, no. This is what I just normally wear. Athletic gear. I'll go work out later.
What time do you work out?
Um, it I have a schedule, so like it kind of I usually work out in the afternoon, and then another one like at night. Usually like before COVID, it was like always in the morning, but my schedule had to be rearranged because like gyms aren't open now and things of that nature. So they don't open till like um, noon or like 1 o'clock. So I have to kind of adjust my schedule, which is fine. I'm not. It gives me the mornings to like work on other things, like trying to read and stuff like that. So it gives me time to do things I probably wouldn't be doing. You know.
So could you tell us, since you read, could you tell us like three books that you would recommend the audience to read that would, help us in any form?
Um. So actually, when I was in the Philippines, excuse me, sorry. When I was in the Philippines, like with our 3x3 team, me and Indy used to like trade books like back and forth, and we would do a lot of reading. So I read Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, um, which was an amazing book. Phil Knight is the guy who started Nike, and it was about his journey to all his ups and downs through starting this multi-billion-dollar brand, which was so cool. And he went through so much. He failed so many times, but all he needed was like just that one kind of moment, and he got that when he developed Nike, which was really cool. And so I recommend that book for some
Wait,
people.
I just wanted to interrupt you
There's
here.
another.
I just wanted to interrupt you here. So that's one of my favorite books actually, Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. So I think when I read it, the part that really stuck with me from
Oh
that book
yeah.
was, if you think so, I think at the end of the month when they would have to pay to the bank a certain amount of money, they would not have certain amount of money, and yet they would strive through it. So that was one of the coolest parts. And also, I think the really
Yeah,
interesting part was initially they started Nike as Blue Ribbon, I think, if you remember that part.
yeah, right,
So that was
absolutely. And like
like
the thing about it was cool, and the thing about like him is like he like nothing was going his way. Like they couldn't pay, they couldn't get the manufacturers, but he still like believed in his brand and his vision, and he did like at any cost to make it work. Right. So many people were telling him like, "Oh, this is not going to work out. Like, you're not going to make the next best shoe or next shoe company," and he did. So it's just again, it's a mentality thing. You got to be that killer, man.
and also the part I think he was really very hungry. So initially he sold the shoes in the boot of his car. So that was one of the
Yeah.
things which was really amazing about him because he didn't give up back then.
No. And I kind of liked how he like if you remember, he did so much traveling, and he like kind of journaled it, and all those different experiences he had in different parts of the world like helped shape like the company in one way or another, which I think was pretty cool.
Okay, so your next two books.
Let's see. I read a book called Relentless by Tim Grover, and Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's trainer with the Chicago Bulls.
Trainer.
And that was again, it's just like it's I kind of like books that like help your mental space and things of that nature. So this was a great book. It just detailed like how like Michael Jordan was so methodical in like all of his workouts and training sessions, and how he was that killer, because of his uh, positive mental space he was in. So that's some of the few things I got out of that book. That's a great book, Relentless by Tim Grover. Um, it's not a big book; it's a short book, but it's a pretty interesting read. And then the last book, I actually just read this last book. It's called Breathe by James Nestor, and it's about like how we are as humans are all breathing like incorrectly, and how our ancestors were breathing like we're breathing correctly by breathing in through our nose and things of that nature. And so it was just telling us how the benefits of breathing properly can probably reverse a lot of chronic um, ailments we may be having as people. So it was an interesting book. I actually learned a lot from that book. So Breathe by James Nestor. Three
Could you tell
books.
us something
I don't,
that you
you
learned
know,
from Breathe? Something that we can
um,
practice in our daily lives.
I mean, so just the power of like breathing in, like I'm a victim of it too. Like, and I try and relate everything back to my sport. So like, um, when I'm working out, when I play, I breathe in through my mouth, right? But that's like it's not very good for air retention and things of that nature. So we've got to breathe in through our nose, which also is like ancient Indian like teachings. It's something that we already know. But breathing in through our nose, because the air, like the body is meant to be um, like breathe in through the nose. So we breathe in through the nose and like out through the mouth and things of that nature. So that's something I learned, and something I'm trying to focus on even when I play, is to breathe in through my nose. So something to keep in mind. Have you read any good
Well,
So,
books,
man, I
Sal?
just
well,
I'm not much of a reader. I mean, I like watching documentaries. Like The Last Dance was a great one.
Oh yeah, that was a great
Like
one.
I just loved it. I just loved it.
Yeah, I wasn't never much of a reader growing up, but that's something I picked up when I went overseas, was reading. Because once you get out of school, like I wasn't really doing much learning, so I had to keep my mind sharp. So reading was a great way, and through these books, on anything. So you'll find something that you're interested in eventually.
No, I just looked at my bookshelf right now and saw how all these books are catching dust.
Yeah, no doubt.
Uh, Kiran, what would you define as discipline? What is discipline for you?
Um, well, I think discipline is I mean, discipline is again is different for everybody, but for me, discipline is like prioritizing what's important to me. So that would be discipline is making sure, I'm eating properly, um, I'm working out, the I'm making sure I make every workout, and I'm making sure I'm journaling, I'm reading, I'm doing things that will get me better before I go out and hang out with my friends, or party or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm making sure discipline is getting all that stuff done first, prioritizing it, and then whatever else comes after for you that you would like to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think I need to work on that part yet. Still very extremely bad at that. I
Yeah,
think, but I think it comes with
I mean,
age,
I'm not
right?
saying I'm.
Or
Uh,
or
yeah,
does it?
it, it no, it does come with age. It does come with experience, and I'm not saying my discipline is great at all, but I mean, I'm getting better at it. I'm working at it. Um, I mean, you're never going to be, each day is a continual progression to get better, right? So, I mean, you'll be good. You're still young, but you found something that you really love to do. So that in itself should help keep you on track, focused, and disciplined. Just your love for it.
Hopefully, there are a lot of lows which come in, and then as I told you, when I feel those lows, I'm like, let's quit this. So hopefully, I stick through that.
Absolutely. And dude, you just said it. You got to just stick with it. I mean, I'm sure you have your own goals that you would like, to achieve. So just keep those in mind whenever whatever decision you make. Is just how is this going to help or hurt my goals? You know what I mean?
You should just like not let it get to your mind.
Yeah.
So I think my
Yeah.
set
Dude,
of
that's
questions.
absolutely.
You were saying something.
No. I'm saying I was just agreeing with Sal. That's right. It's easier said than done, but you got to block out the noise. You can't let it get to your head. Um, and it's tough, man. It's tough. But again, everyone has their own goals they're trying to achieve, and that's just something that should be constantly in your head as you move forward.
Okay, so Kiran, we have Sahil with a few set of questions for you, and it's a surprise set of questions. So how excited are you?
Oh man, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty nervous too. I don't know what you guys have in store for me.
It's that Sahil, up to you now.
It's nothing really scary. I mean, it's just fun question.
Okay,
Okay,
let's
so
get it.
let's begin. Who was your favorite player growing up and why?
Kobe Bryant, because um, I wanted to play I mean, growing up, like the Lakers were really good, and so you want to emulate like players that you see, and so I knew like I could never be like Shaq because like he was just 7 foot 350, right? So, but Kobe was a little more, he was shorter, he was like a little more lean, so you can kind of emulate his game in the same way like people look at Steph Curry, right? It's like how like I looked at Kobe growing up.
According to you, which is your best moment on the court?
Um, so when I was in college, like I got to play, um, I got to play on ESPN every year, right? And so the game that I broke the 3-point record, the opposing coach was an ex NBA player in Chris Mullin. And Chris Mullin used to play for the Warriors like when I was like a kid like 3, 4 years old. So it was pretty cool to like get the record against him when I like my dad grew up watching him play, and like so just like that moment was it was like full circle kind of thing. It was pretty cool.
Just had to interrupt. Sorry, Sal, for interrupting your set, but you also played with the Clippers, right?
It's your podcast.
I, d- I, d- I didn't get to play. I got to try out with them right after I came back from Japan. I got to try out for their G League team, and it was tough. It was pretty tough. It didn't go as well as I wanted to, but it's okay. You know, like I said, I think everything happens for a reason. So we keep it pushing, we keep it moving forward. Hopefully, I get another opportunity, but let's see.
Like almost everybody is aware of how athletes spend like tons of money on strength and conditioning. For example, LeBron, he spends like 1.5 million every year on his body. Now, which is your favorite workout in the gym?
My favorite workout in the gym. Well, lately I've been kind of changing up my workouts, and I've been doing more like balance and core work. Like I don't really lift any heavy weights, man, to be honest with you. Like I don't do bench press. I don't do a back squat. Like I'll do more functional training, functional movements. And I do a lot of research myself to see like what are some of the new and improved workouts, what are some benefits of these. So I like using this like the stability ball, like the big yoga ball. I like using like a Bosu if you've heard of that. Um, Anything balance related, coordination related, core. That's what I like to, you know, do now. If you want me to send you some workouts, I'll send them to you. I got
Yeah,
a
that'd be
bunch.
cool. That'd be cool.
Got a bunch, man. So let me know.
Um, just like how people have their favorite workout, I mean, everybody's got a least favorite workout too. So which one would be yours?
Uh, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, dude, I hate running. Running sucks. But there's so many good benefits of it. But whenever our coach makes us run, I'm like, no, I hate it.
I think that's something which we can relate to. I think Sahil and I. So we used to get these like play periods, and we're super excited about
Mhm.
we're going to get to play and all that stuff. And then suddenly the sir's like, "Go take 3 downs of the football ground," and we're like, "No, sir." And he's like, "You have to take it. You're going to take 5 now."
Yeah, man, dude. It's so because like you said, like running was always a form of punishment, right? So it's like, oh man, when you run, it sucks. So I don't know. That's my least favorite one.
But then, like, since I started playing basketball, for me, like it's a part of the game. So whenever somebody tells me to
Yeah,
run like a few rounds, I mean, it's nothing. You're like, yeah, I'll do it.
yeah. I mean, yeah, no, for sure. Then that's a good mindset to have. Like, yeah, I'll just do it, but I'm not gonna like it. You know?
Okay, so Kiran, I mean, the GOAT talk has been going on since a long, long time. And
Yeah,
who's your GOAT?
Michael
Okay, for
Jordan.
those of y'all who must be thinking what a GOAT is the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I was thinking
Michael
that.
Jordan's a goat. And if you like, if you didn't know he was a goat after watching The Last Dance, like that's just solidify your answer. That man is like he is on another level. It's not. I don't even think it's a conversation. Or you can't even compare like LeBron.
You just can't compare LeBron to Michael Jordan. I mean, it's a sky
Yeah,
high comparison.
dude, it
So I'm
is. I
not.
mean, just look at
Yeah, you can say
say it again.
first. You can say first.
Oh, okay. No, I was just saying it's not. You know, if you've seen like Michael Jordan's like success, like his competitiveness, just like just the way like people like gravitated towards him, like that man was almost like a god figure, you know.
The Black
I don't
Jesus.
think Black Jesus, just like that, you know.
So I've
I
not
mean,
watched too much
Reggie
of
Miller.
basketball,
Reggie Miller.
but yeah, you can say Sahil.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I've not watched actually too much of basketball, but I think I have a lot of respect for Michael Jordan because I think I've read this somewhere that he got dropped out of his college team And then he worked harder on his craft and he came back, and now he's like known as one of the world's best players. I think
That was
that's
his
the
high school. He didn't have a high school team. Yeah, so what I was saying was Reggie Miller, like, he never referred to him as Michael Jordan. He always called him Black Cat or Black Jesus.
That's such a dope nickname. The Black Cat, Black Jesus. That's probably the best nickname you can get, you know.
Okay, Kiran, which is your favorite sneaker right now? I mean, the ones you
Ooh.
have. Like, if you have to pick one.
Well, the favorite sneaker I have is the one that I own, and that's the Adidas Yeezys, man. Those are my favorite. They're so comfortable. You know, I'm a big Adidas guy because in college, like we were all Adidas, so you know, I wear a lot of Adidas shoes. I wear like Damian Lillard's when I play ball. But the Yeezys, they're so comfortable. They're just so expensive, man. I'm trying to save up just to buy some more. Oh, I also own like a few Jordans too, but like those I just keep to the side. I don't really wear them. They're just kind of for show, you know. But I love wearing the Yeezys.
Okay, so obviously 2020 is like the worst year that can happen, and one of the most devastating things for any basketball player would be the passing away of Kobe Bryant. And Kiran, for you, which is your favorite Kobe moment? Like, for me, it is when he tore his Achilles and then he went and he knocked down those free throws.
Yeah, I mean, man, there's so many great Kobe moments, man. But I think for me, like it was just like his just in the beginning when he was. You remember when I think he was a rookie, and he was playing those playoff games in it was against Utah, and he like airballed two shots, right? But like right after that game, he went right back to the gym and he was like practicing those same shots like for hours. I think that just speaks to his like dedication and his work ethic. And that's something that we can all like learn from him, whether you're a basketball player or not. Is how committed and dedicated he was to his craft, to becoming like the best. And and he had that at like 19 or 18 years old, which is very impressive. So to have that type of mental capacity to understand like, okay, I need to do this to get better, and I'm gonna do it right now, right after the game. I think that was pretty cool.
What was your first dunk like?
Um, I was 16 years old, and it was like after practice, and it was like it was like such an average dunk. It was like I barely got it up, barely grazed the rim, but that was my first one, and I think my first one in game, excuse me, was when I was 17. Or yeah, that was my first dunk, and I have one on my Instagram from high school. That's when I think I was 18 on that one. But yeah, man, I was 16. I was so hyped. I thought I was like, it was a great moment. I remember that vividly. Have you had your first dunk yet?
I thought I was never going to dunk. Yeah, I just had my first dunk recently, like back in summer. So I just thought, I should just go and try to dunk the ball now. And then, yeah, I take that run up and then I just dunk the ball in. I'm like, oh shit, I just did that. I just did that. And then I just place my phone at an angle like, I can capture myself dunking, but then never happens.
Yeah, it always
So right now, I'm
happens
just
when
wait
no one's
for
watching,
courts to
right?
open, to get my first in-game dunk. So that's all I had. But just want to tell you something. If you ever come to Goa, I think we should probably catch up and play some 21s or something.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. You know, my mom is from there, so I have some family out there too, so I want to make a trip, and I'm definitely gonna see you guys. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but then one of you all will be in my team.
Hopefully, I get to
I,
beat you too.
Oh man, I'm not gonna let you beat me.
okay, so Kiran, thank you so much for being a part of PodX. We really had a fantastic time having you. Sahil, it was amazing having you as a co-host. Really enjoyed this. This is like a new experience for me. And yeah, I definitely look forward to meeting you in person soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Keep up the good work, man. You're doing great things. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And I look forward to hearing some of your other podcasts as well, man.
So thank you so much, Kiran. Thank you so much, Sahil.
See you guys.